Jürgen Persson in the final. So, pre-match practice complete. 2 left-handed, right-handed combinations. Ma Long gives a little signal under the table, lets Timo Boll know the serve he would like. What a start! If that's what we're going to see throughout this match, what a match it's going to be. Players throwing their whole bodies into those forehand topspins.
It doesn't get better.
2015 in Suzhou, playing with the Korean player Yang Ha-yun, and indeed he won the men's doubles at the Suzhou World Championship and torts his body. Fantastic footwork. Plays with the penhold grip, but has the ability, which is the reverse backhand topspin.
It's also interesting that we've got both.
Advantage. Left-hander playing with right-hander. There are combinations that have won world champions the last 15, 20 years, almost, if not as powerful as the forehand. The senior pro out there, former world #1, won the European Championship a record number of times. Good forehand topspin down the line from Boll. All-time greats. Clever topspin with the serve, 27 years of age, ranked 3 in the world. Medalist in the last World Championships in Suzhou. Oh, Boll's on fire here. 1, 2, 3 in the world, and Timo Boll at number 8. But he's certainly not being overshadowed by the top 3 players in the world. Far from it. Ma Long knows the serve his partner would like. What a great shot by Ma Long there. It was an aggressive topspin, but he stayed close to the table.
He wouldn't be happy with that one. I think he would think that was an error on his part.
Placed into his pocket. Total body action from Ma Long there, and the ball goes like an absolute rocket. Just watch his body here. It's almost 100. Great Zhendong. What a shot by Ma Long. Fan Zhendong didn't even move. He did then. He got round his backhand, played the forehand on the diagonal. It's a great flip return. Not quite as much backspin. Lifts, and just lifts a little bit too much. And Fan Zhendong just hesitates there. Wasn't sure whether the ball was going to bounce over the table. And that slight hesitation means that Timo Boll, Ma Long take the first game. And so the players back to their coaches in the corner. Words of wisdom from European champion back in 1982 in Stuttgart. Interesting statistics on the table. A few more in Zhujin. The difference, it was very close at 13-11, and now it's Zhujin with the serve. And so just a reminder, it was in the second round 2 years ago at the last World Individual Championship, Jika, and it was the two Chinese players who won. So it's
in players, I'm sure there's a few that could replace Zhendong. Timo Boll and Ma Long, they beat players from Hungary and India.
So there's never any easy matches at the World Championships, that's for sure. Acquire points as they compete around the world. And of course, if you bring a pair suddenly together, albeit it may be the number 1 and 2 in the world, and Liu Shiwen, number 1 and 2 in the world, are actually seeded 4. And of course, here we have Timo Boll and Ma Long seeded 17. Well, quite clearly, they're not the 17th best pair here. They're probably some.
It must be very difficult, though, to do the seedings when
on the world individual ranking list, but clearly it has to favour results in doubles competition. I don't think I'd be too pleased. What a point! And the crowd are loving this, and why wouldn't you? Topspin to topspin. And it was the backhand topspin from Fan Zhendong that won the point.
And a forehand now, whereas years ago it was just had a one shot and the backhand.
Same country playing together with the very odd in the various leagues, the Chinese National League, the Bundesliga, and so the
take the ball so early sometimes.
The game has got faster as time has gone on, and that's one of the key factors, players staying close to the table, taking the ball earlier. And I think they're playing with 8 points apiece. Oh, that's a great topspin from Timo Boll. Just lifted the ball a fraction too much there, Timo Boll. Nods his head, he knows what he did. And there we see the statistics for China. 6 quadrants and the areas where the ball serving at the business end of this second game. And there we have a game. See, can they make it? Boll with his second serve. Push from Ma Long, fractionally high, but Zhu Jin pounced on the opportunity. But no complaints here from the players. And now, game point for Fan Zhendong. And the flick from Timo Boll off the end of the table. And the second game goes to Fan Zhendong and Zhu Jin. And this third round match, all square, 1 game apiece. And so, words of wisdom. We can just hear what the coaches, they're coming back to the table. And this time you can see 4 winners for Fan and Zhu. Just the one for Boll and Ma. Again, it was the closest of margins. But the stats there just favouring the Chinese pair. And indeed, the Chinese pair just winning. Timo Boll to serve at the start of the third game. It's 1 game each.
With only having Roscoff in the corner coaching, do you think he would have discussed with the Chinese coach beforehand, or because they're playing against Chinese players?
Been playing a Swedish pair, French pair, then we would have had a Chinese coach in the corner on players. So it sort of makes political sense. I know that's a strong word, political sense.
Would you?
No, absolutely. 1 minute you're coaching against them, and then the next minute you're in the coaching hall. Them. Boll and Marlong statistics there. You can see a pretty even distribution with the exception of the 26%. That's obviously out wide onto the backhand side.
Moved round there, quick footwork, playing this forehand on the diagonal. It's because they're able to, at last minute, turn the wrist, and it can either go down the line.
The serve sense of momentum now very much with the two Chinese players. Good backhand down the line. That was a good push, clever playing by Timo Boll. His opponent was coming into the table to play over the table, so he pushed it long and fast into the body from Timo Boll. Again, the serve just that fraction too high, but what a good... It's interesting when you do return with the backhands, as Fan Zhendong did there. Oh my goodness.
They receive on their forehand, but just occasionally they're turning round and playing that spinny backhand, and sometimes that's having an effect.
Three game points for the two Chinese players. Topspin from Xu Xin just caught the top of the net, flicked it off the end of the table. 1 game point saved, but still Xu Xin, Fan Zhendong looking to get in behind it, and the push into the net from Timo Boll means that Fan Zhendong, Xu Xin, former world champion himself, Olympic finalist in '92, and Ru Sung Min winning in Athens in 2004. So there we have an analysis of they're watching those games, and I saw all 3 of those finals. So we're back at the table for the 4th game, and it is Xu Xin to serve. Oh, well done, Timo Boll. Again, the secret of success on this point was staying close to the table. Just relentless pressure. Compensate for the topspin. Oh, that's very clever play from Xu Xin. He's out wide playing his forehand from the backhand side, but he managed somehow to go down the line further away from Timo Boll. As you can see, almost a capacity crowd, 8,000 seats. It's a complete sellout here in Dusseldorf for the last 4 days. Not quite every... How do you think that affects the players? Jill, you've played in more pressure.
I think it helps when you've got a home crowd that are edging you on. So I think this will help Boll. I don't think it puts you under pressure. I think that spurs you on.
Good shot from Mo. Make sure it bounces twice on the other side. Again, he's just... It's probably the two most important shots in the game. Good flick from Marlon. Marlon. Again, such a long shot does Xu Xin. Makes it very difficult for the opponent to read where is it going. Where is this ball going? And then this time he whips his wrist around the outside of the ball, puts it out wide. Very tight. 8 points apiece. Timo Boll just going for the backhand topspin down the line. Bravely 2 points apiece. What a well-placed flick into the body of Boll of 2. Xu Xin playing well there. Again, it was the Xu Xin forehand topspin that wins the point and indeed wins the first pair to win 4 games, going through to the quarter-final of the men's doubles. So Fan Zhendong, Xu Xin looking the favourites. They need one Chinese combination. And if you look there, the thing that stands out immediately, 8 winners for Fan Zhendong, Xu Xin against 3 winners for Timo Boll. And that's exactly what happened. 11-9, that 4th game. Levol 5th game, Boll to serve. Fellow commentators at recent World Championships. He's now the sports director of the German Table Tennis Association, basically responsible for all. We have 11 players on the pitch. The crowd is like having a 12th player.
Really important is just get an early time out there. I've seen a time out sometimes at 9, 7.
Just stepped in, didn't quite get the right position on the ball.
Xu Xin again. Xu Xin. In fairness, Timo Boll gave Xu Xin a chance.
It's very difficult to smash that ball when there's so much spin on it.
Great serve there. You saw the second bounce was literally on the baseline. And that's, of course, great placement. The player's not sure whether it's coming long or it's a ball that you have to play over the table. So timeout called by Jörg Roscoff. Each pair has the opportunity of 1 time. So you can't actually say 25% are going down the backhand because we've got a left-hander and a right-hander. But very interesting statistics. The ball forehand lands on top of the net and just trickles over the net. Fortunately for Boll and Mo, and the score's level.
Look from the Belarusian perspective, both players just started to drift a little bit too far away from the table. You do that.
How did he get that?
But he's interested in that technique, and Xu Xin has now taken it to a different level. Slightly hesitant. The crowd doing their best to lift Timo Boll and Marlon. Timo Boll did well there. Just
He made 2 signs before my long serve then, so I wonder what that meant.
maybe changed his mind, Joe. Don't know, but short serve. Well, it was a short serve.
Then you will know that it could possibly pop up and able to step in.
And now the 2 Chinese. Shushin with the return. And it's now 3 match points for the 2 Chinese players.
Leading at the turn last set.
Oh, that's a good backhand from Marlon. A lifeline for the Germany-China combination. And indeed, timeout now has been called by Wang Hao in the Chinese corner. And it is Shushin with the 2 serves. Can they win the next 2 points? Timo Boll, Marlon. What a point to finish this men's doubles match. The 2 Chinese players there, smiles of delight. Timo Boll, a wry smile on his face. He knew he'd done his best.